questions for Coach Van Horn. Coach, ready when you are.
Yeah, just what a wild first game of a regional. The ball was really traveling today, and there was a lot of clutch swings by both teams. And, very rarely you get out to an 8-run lead, and you see it disappear. A lot of times that isn't good for your team, and maybe get a little demoralized or whatever. But our team hung in there and, kept saying, hey, we got a 7-inning game, 8-inning or 6-inning game ahead of us. Just keep going. And they did it. But, Gabe came in and settled down a little bit. Christian got through, I think, what was that, the 4th inning, and then Gabe came in after that. And could have gone back out in the 9th. We were just trying to save him some pitches. And even before we had scored the runs, we had already made the decision to take him out. So, it was one of those games, if you give them something, they're gonna score. They kicked a couple balls for us, and we ended up scoring. When we walked them, they scored. And, it's a really good offensive team.
All right, questions for the student athletes. Bob?
Yeah, I guess for the guys that had 2 home runs, Ben and then Hudson, you talk about the balls you hit and just about the offense overall today. There, Andy Sawyer's kind of made a joke. He wants to talk to the guy that said Arkansas couldn't hit because he'd heard that was a narrative, and then you guys put up 17 today.
So. Yeah, I'm just proud of the way we competed at the plate. We've been working hard all season. I feel like we were kind of due for a good game like that. So I'm proud of the group.
Yeah, I just feel like this is a big team win for us. We know our pitchers are always going to throw well, and just to respond the way that we did, down 8-0 or up 8-0, them tying at 8-8. I just feel like that was a huge team win for us.
And like Dave said, a lot of teams, if they blow an 8-run lead, it's not good. But you guys have responded in a big way. What was the key to that, and kind of what was the mindset when it goes from 8-0 to 8-8 pretty quick?
Yeah, I just feel like for us, we talked as a group. I feel like next man up mentality, trusting the guy behind you and in front of you to get the job done. It might not always work out, but just knowing your guys have your back is huge for us.
I think you nailed it on the head.
Gabe, I think season high for pitches for you today. Just, first off, how do you feel? Have you been kind of building up all season to this postseason, hoping that maybe this could be the run where you start working like that this many innings?
Yeah, I feel good. It was a steady build-up all year, and, the coaches did a great job on prepping me for that. And so I think now it's kind of time to start going a little bit and stretching it out and trying to help the team by eating up some innings.
Ben, I think all 3 of your hits to right field, even you had that foul ball that was so close, a heavy pull. Was that part of the approach today from you, thinking you could maybe do some damage pulling and, kind of maybe some softer fastballs today that you're seeing?
No, I just feel like I was trying to hit it wherever they were pitching it. And for me, just competing with 2 strikes. Both of my home runs were 2 strikes, and it was more so just competing, trying to put a ball in play, doing whatever I could to help the team.
Gabe, there was that part in the top of the 7th where they cut the lead back to 1 off that RBI double, but you were able to get around it. How are you feeling in the top 7 with 1 out?
Yeah, I felt good. The whole outing, I felt good, and they were hitting the balls I was throwing, and so I just kept filling it up and trusting my stuff and trusting the guys behind me, and just had to keep going.
Ben, I don't think you'd homered since like mid-April. You had the one that was robbed at the SEC tournament. Do you feel like your power? You have more power right now, or has there been any adjustment to you to get that power?
No, I've just been staying consistent with my work and what I do. I'm just keeping the same approach, and if it goes out, it goes out. But just stacking ABs is all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, when it starts off 8-0, I don't know if we're expecting to see you in the 6th inning. Kind of what was your mindset coming in early like that and having to, kind of get things back under control?
Yeah, Coach Hobbs told me before the game crazy stuff happens in the postseason. So from the first pitch, I think we were all ready to go into the game, and we just had to stay locked in the whole time, just staying prepared in the bullpen. Once they called your name, go out and succeed.
I think you threw about 60 pitches, maybe 61. Would you be available? I know it's Dave's call, but I mean, do you feel like you could be ready to pitch again if you need to?
Yeah, I feel great.
And just for you 2 guys, I mean, when it's 8-0, were you thinking it was going to, like, I guess Matt was right about it getting crazy, but were you thinking, hey, we got the game under control, or were you thinking you still had work to do?
Yeah, I mean, we're up 8-0, so I for sure I thought we had a good lead, but no lead safe in the postseason. I think we did a great job. Just keep adding to it. We kept stacking ABs, and we're able to score more runs.
And as a catcher, I think they cut it 10-9. I think they had the tying runs on. They had a chance to tie it or even take the lead, but Gabe was able to get out of that. I think he struck out the side. Eventually, just what'd you think of how he got out of that jam?
I feel like it's kind of something we've all gotten used to. He's been dominant all year. He's only a freshman, but you wouldn't think so. Just talking to him, looking at his poise up on the mound. He's done an awesome job for us.
Anybody can kind of take this one, but just how good was it to see Kendall's performance today? I mean, a team captain and the way he's been struggling. I mean, how much of a boost is it if he can kind of get going for you guys here?
Yeah, we all know if we want to go to where we want to go, Diggs is going to be right at the front of it. We weren't worried at all. He's a great baseball player. It was good to see him get some knocks today, and it's really going to help this team.
Guys, great job. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach Van Horn. Go ahead, Bob.
Dave, Andy was in here saying in the middle of the game after they tied it back up, he was thinking they were going to win. What were you thinking?
I was thinking the same thing. We were going to win. But, basically I was saying what I was thinking to the players. I was telling the guys they were in the dugout when they hit the 3-run homer to tie it. I walked up and down the dugout and I said, when the guys get off the field, you guys got to tell them we're fine. We still have 5-6 innings to play, and it's 0-0, 1-1, whatever you want to say. It's tied. We got a lot of game left, and I thought the dugout did a good job there, and we were all kind of talking that language in there.
And a bunch of hits, a lot of home runs. Just what you think of the offense and how they picked up the pitching today?
I thought the offense was really good. The first inning, we only scored a run, but we hit a lot of. We took some really good swings. Made him throw some pitches, and then kind of got it going again there in the second. Got into their bullpen pretty quick, which was always good to see. But credit to them, man. Their offense came back and took a couple walks, and I don't know, maybe a home run or double home run or whatever. But it was a great job by our offense. Really, the whole game. We're up 8. It's tied. We end up winning by 8. It didn't feel like that, but it was really good job of continuing to play the game and have good at bats.
Dave, after they tied it up 8-8, you came back that next half inning and y'all got back-to-back home runs. Just not only how big was it not only to answer, but for one of those home runs to be also Kendall Diggs?
Yeah, it fired up the dugout a lot. Just to even score 1 after they had, just punched in 4 to tie it up there in the 5th. And then we ended up getting another home run, feeling pretty good. And then they came back, obviously, there in the 7th, and I think they went single, double, or double, single, whatever it was, and then had a chance to tie it or take the lead. But, yeah, that was big for us to score when they had just scored those runs.
And Kendall, he had told us yesterday that he felt like he was getting ready to turn a corner. Is that something you saw from him as well?
Oh, yeah. Kendall and I have had a couple talks. We talked at our first practice back and called him over in the outfield, and we told him where I wanted to hit him against righties, and I told him where I was going to hit him against left-handers, and that he needed to be in the middle of driving in runs, and that's what he did.
Coach, just what were your thoughts on Gabe Gackel's performance today?
Pretty good. The first hitter he threw, he walked him on, 4 pitches, 5 pitches, and I'm thinking, wow, this is something else. Because he doesn't walk a lot of people. And then he got it together. And just his best inning was the 8th, I think. He struck out the side. And, again, he could have gone back out. But we thought if we're going to have any opportunity to bring him back in this thing, we got to get him out of there. And we had a 5-run lead, and, then we ended up with an 8-run lead. So it worked out and got to get Faraday out there. He threw the ball really well. But to answer your question, I thought Gabe was really good. It was one of those games that no lead was safe, and, for some reason the hitters were all about it.
And he looks like a veteran when he's going out there and throwing. Do you think being in those tight spots of the situation, going out there and getting out of jams, do you think that's prepared him for that sort of situation?
It's prepared him throughout the year to pitch in this type of situation. We brought him in a bunch of different roles. We brought him in to kind of slow the game down for us in the sixth when it was getting out of control. We brought him in to close games with a one-run lead. We're kind of building him up to possibly get a start if we get to play enough. And we're also going to get him ready to be a starter next year.
Do you have an update on Peyton Holt?
Yeah, he cramps up all the time. I don't know what else to tell you. The guy drives me nuts. He's already coming up to me. I'm good to go. I said, yeah, go get an IV and we'll talk later. That's basically what I said. Yeah.
And what did you see from Molina and McIntyre today? Because it felt like there were some really good moments, and of course they just kind of couldn't finish the job there.
Yeah. Well, Molina throws 4 balls eye high, start the game, and then he goes out of the stretch. He starts dotting it up. It's pretty good. Gets through that inning. Gets through the second, I think. Looks good, and we're thinking, okay. But what didn't happen is he couldn't throw a breaking ball for a strike. Changeup was okay. Threw it for a strike, but could not spin the ball near the zone. And, they punched in 4 after we just scored 7. And that's got to be the shutdown inning. We shut down that inning. We scored another couple runs. The game might be over. But they climb right back in it. So I liked his stuff. He gives up a home run on a 3-1 or a 3-2 fastball, and the hitter knew exactly what was coming. I think maybe to get to 3-2 was a changeup. So he's thinking, "You're not going to throw me another changeup. You can't throw the breaking ball. I'm just going to cheat on this fastball," and he did. And he hit his 18th home run of the year. And it's that it's there. I mean, we saw it for a minute, and then it disappeared. McIntyre, he just made a mistake. It's a 1-2 count. Ball's supposed to be down in the dirt, and he left it down the middle, mid-thigh, and the ball hit the net. And, those are mistakes that you can't make, especially on a day like this when the ball just seems to be flying.
Dave, how much of an emphasis was put in the last week of just getting your position players off their feet, and how much do you think that helps them offensively?
I wanted to get everybody off their feet, honestly, just get them away from baseball for a couple of days and the pressure and, just everything. And just go do something else for a while. And it definitely helped. And I think, there's some guys and some pitchers, maybe the position players, had little meetings together because I'd mentioned that after the game in Hoover that we have a good team, but we're going to have to make some adjustments if we're going to play for a while. And I thought the practices, the first day was great, second day was great. Then yesterday it was real light. We didn't do much. And, we only worked out for 45, 50 minutes, got them out of there. And today we didn't hit on the field. We hit inside. And we're going to do that the rest of the tournament as long as we're in it. Just we don't need to be out there. We know how to play on our own field. Just work on what we need to work on.
And if you go back through the years, regionals, super regionals, the ballpark gets real jumpy. Is it the wind? Is it the air? What do you see?
Well, if the wind's not coming out of the south, which is straight over the top of the building for the most part, obviously that gets knocked down pretty good. But if it's obviously the northwest, maybe southwest some, or it's just kind of calm west for sure. The ball's going to go a little bit, and yeah, it's just the way it is.
Dave Wilmsmeyer only had 2 hits, but he was on base every time he went up with errors. Just kind of what did you make of his performance?
Well, he put some pressure on him. He hit that ball to the third baseman, and he kind of babied it over there. And right when he left his hand, we knew he was going to be safe. It was hot. Throw was going to be high, and it was good to see him, get on base. Really good piece of base running on that base hit. Unfortunately, we didn't end up scoring that inning. I don't think. I think that was the inning we left 2 on. Maybe not. Maybe we scored, but it's anytime you have a really good defender like that has struggled offensively, and I started him because they started a lefty. His last start was against a lefty down at A&M, and he did really well. So he may get the start tomorrow. I don't know who they're going to throw. I don't know who we're playing, obviously, but. We'll see how that turns out.
And I think I know the answer to this, but have you announced a starter for tomorrow?
He'll be left-handed. His name's Smith. So, yeah.
Yeah, Coach, you've kind of talked the last couple of weeks about getting some clutch hits and hits with 2 outs. Was there a change in the approach with 2 outs today, and kind of what went into it, or was it just the balls were finally finding the gaps?
Well, hitting is a lot mental. I'm not going to say the approach physically has changed at all. Sometimes you just get on a roll. Sometimes you like what you see coming in there. We took a lot of good swings, and they took that into 2 strikes too. Guys weren't trying to do too much, and they tried to bust us in a little bit, and they didn't quite get it there, and it left the yard. And I don't know. I don't. There wasn't a change of approach. It was just, maybe we're getting better. Maybe we're starting to hit a little bit.
Before Molina gave up the runs, was there any thought to 8-0, maybe saving him a little bit for the rest of the series, or how?
Who, Molina?
Yeah.
Oh no, pitch, get him out, go to the next guy, and find a way to win. I mean, that's exactly why we, brought Fouch in and got McIntyre out of there faster than we wanted to, and then Gackle came in, and we just you need to win game 1. If you don't win game 1, you got to win a bunch of games. We blowing an 8-run lead. It was due to some walks, free passes, and then bingo, got a good hitting team, and the ball's flying. So it was a recipe for a lot of runs being scored today. That's why I was so proud of our guys that they didn't get, all uptight when they tied it up 8-8. Just, hey, start playing, keep playing.
Dave Hudson's really got hot in
Yep.
last several weeks. Is there something that he's changed in his approach? Is it just gaining confidence?
He's changed a couple things, and he's swinging the bat with a lot more bat speed. He's not so tied up, and obviously he's really confident. But he's been hitting the ball well ever since we played Kentucky on the road. That's when it started.
Do you think maybe too early, but any idea if maybe Fouch and Faraday would be available tomorrow?
Oh yeah, they'll both be available. Oh yeah.
I was going to say, how do you feel about your bullpen moving forward now, the rest of the weekend?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, McIntyre, he could pitch again. He could probably start game 3 if we needed to. Gackle, that's a big question mark. I mean, I'm not going to be if he doesn't feel good, he's not pitching. But, we gave ourselves a chance with that by getting him out. Instead of him throwing 85 pitches, he threw 60, 62. So maybe he could go again on Sunday and, Monday if needed, whatever. We'll see how this thing turns out. We still got to win tomorrow and figure it out. But, at least we get to, go to bed tonight knowing that we get to play tomorrow night.
And their leadoff guy got 5 walks. I don't know if I've seen that and I forgot.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about it.
What was your thought on that?
My thought was if he walked 6 times, he was going to break a record nationally, because I don't think anybody's ever walked 6 or 7. I don't know how you could, and then Stovall robbed him of a hit with a great play there to end the game. But he did a great job, and he's a true freshman. He can really hit.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you guys.